Hello everyone. So this is next passage and the word count of this passage is 448 words. This passage is slightly on the medium side, and I won't say that it is difficult. It is somewhere in the medium difficulty range. Let's read the passage. So recently the revolution in reproductive technology has attracted wide attention as controversy centered initially on genetic cloning techniques could create new, possibly dangerous forms of life. So, the revolution in reproductive technology has attracted wide attention, and because of uh, the reason that this possibly could create new, possibly dangerous form of life. Attention next focused on the power of genetic engineering to produce valuable new medical and agricultural products. Largely overlooked, however, are developments that will ultimately have far greater social impact. The ability to analyze genetic information will allow the prediction of human traits. While some fear that by analyzing the entire library of human gene sequence, we will discover the essence of humanity, this is unlikely. Our bodies are complex networks of interacting components influenced by a variable environment. Nevertheless, genes do help determine aspects of human form and function. Herein lie the seeds of future problems. So in the first paragraph, what author is trying to say that there has been a recent revolution in reproductive technology that has attracted wide attention, which was initially on genetic cloning and cloning techniques and that they can create possibly dangerous form of life. But now because of this new revolution, attention is now focused on the power of genetic engineering to produce valuable new medical and agricultural products. That now what is being overlooked here? Largely overlooked. What is the problem that author faces here? However, are developments that will ultimately have far greater social impact. The ability to analyze genetic information will allow the prediction of human traits. So now people are thinking that this will allow the prediction of human traits. While some fear that by analyzing the entire library of human gene sequence, we will discover the essence of humanity, this is unlikely. So the author is saying that this is not possible. Why it is not possible? Because our bodies are complex networks of interacting components influenced by a variable environment. So this is important, that we are influenced by variable environment. So this environment is not static. So nevertheless, genes do help determine aspects of human form and function, and because of this there are so many problems which we can see in future. What are those problems? By about the year 2005, so from this statement we can see that this passage or paragraph must have been written before 2005. Barring unforeseen technical obstacles, scientists will have fully mapped the complex human genetic terrain. So this is the assumption that the author is using, that unless and until there are some unforeseen technical obstacles, by the year 2005 scientists will have fully mapped the complex human genetic terrain. Before this, however, new information will make possible techniques that will engender a host of ethical issues. What do you mean by engender? So engender means giving rise to, or so that means that if I read the sentence again, before this, however, new information will make possible techniques that will give rise to a host of ethical issues. Imagine, now the author is trying to give an example. Imagine that investigators could predict with some accuracy such aspects of human behavior or functioning as intelligence, shyness, aggressiveness, or heat tolerance. Consider the power this would give to some and the vulnerable position in which it would put others. So these are the problems, future problems that the author is seeing. Even if society can anticipate and control most misuse of genetic data, we face a more insidious problem. Insidious means harmful problem and which is slowly growing. So it's not something which we can see directly or instantaneously, but it is growing slowly and it's a harmful problem. A rising ethic of genetic determinism. So this is the problem, a rising ethic of genetic determinism. Ethic means set of moral values or principles by which society works or a group has certain values. For the past century, ideological currents have closely affected the nature versus nurture debate. So the debate so this is important, nature versus nurture debate. So nature means that people, if have same genes or same birth, by birth they are same or everything, they will behave similarly. And nurture means that even if people are from same environment and have same genes and everything, still the way they are nurtured will decide how they will behave. Widespread rejection of social Darwinism and institutionalized racism has buoyed the strong naturalist sentiments of the past half century. So buoyed means to keep it afloat, to keep it at a higher position. So these two things, widespread rejection of social Darwinism and institutionalized racism, has made sure that the strong naturalist sentiments remain floated or they are still popular since past half century. But a growing proportion of the public, impressed by the successes of genetics, that means the revolution that we are talking about, is likely to come to view genes as determinants of the human condition. So they will see that genes are responsible for the human conditions. Such an uncritical embrace of genetics will not be detected by scientists' reminders that the powers of genetic predictions are limited. So this uncritical embrace of genetics, this is again another problem, that people will give more importance to genes and they will ignore scientists' reminders that powers of genetics predictions are limited. Environmental variations can cause genetically similar individuals to develop in dramatically different ways, and genetics will at best suggest only a probability of development for complex traits, such as those involved in behavior and cognition. So scientists themselves are saying that nurture will play an important role. So this thing here, environmental variations can cause genetically similar individuals to develop in dramatically different ways. That means nurture is important. Nurture will still play an important role. And genetics will at best only suggest only a probability of development for complex traits. Those overlooking this will disastrously misjudge individual ability. So this is another problem, that if you are overlooking this environmental variations, you will disastrously misjudge individual ability. What a tragedy would this be? We Americans have viewed our roots as interesting historical relics, hardly as rigid molds dictating all that we are and will be. So now the author is saying that how bad this scenario can be. So he is saying that we feel that we are interesting historical relics rather than rigid molds. Moreover, a belief that each of us is responsible for our own behavior has woven our social fabric. So they feel that each one of them is responsible for what they are doing. So they still feel that environmental variations, nurturing is important and is playing an important role for the way people behave rather than just genes. Yet in coming years, we'll hear increasingly from those attributing bad behavior to inexorable biological forces. Inexorable means something which can't be avoided. So people will give these kind of excuses that since my genes are like that and that is the result of my bad behavior, so I cannot change that because it is because of the biological forces. So these kind of excuses and arguments will be given by people. As a biologist, I find this a better prospect. The biological revolution of the past decades will spawn enormous benefits, but we will pay a price unless we craft an ethic that cherishes our spontaneity, predictability, and individual uniqueness. So, the author, which is a biologist, feels and says that this revolution that we are talking about will spawn enormous benefits. Spawn means to give rise to, or to produce in large numbers. So this revolution will give large benefits, but we will have to pay a price unless we craft an ethic that cherishes our spontaneity, predictability, and individual uniqueness. That means it gives value to our to the environmental variations, and it gives value to these factors. Then we will be able to enjoy these benefits without paying any price. So this altogether was an easy passage. Let's look at the questions and options. So the first question is, which one of the following best expresses the main idea of the passage? So before you read the options, think of what is the main idea. So we can see, if we understand the passage, we can see that the author is talking about the revolution, and author is worried about the impact of this revolution. Author sees that this revolution has positive as well as negative impact, and if we are not able to understand the limitations of this revolution, we'll have lot of negative impacts. But if we understand the limitations and we understand this revolution correctly, and we give importance to environmental factors and everything, then we can have lot of economic benefits, we can have lot of other benefits from this revolution. So let's read the options now. The relationship between science and society leads to complex ethical questions that may either benefit or impair the development of each. So you can see that this is not the main idea. Nowhere in this idea we read about the revolution, we read about the conflict between genes or genetic revolution that we are talking about. So here it is too generalized. So I won't say that it is the main idea of the passage. Let's read the second point. Society should understand that environmental conditions may cause genetically similar individuals to develop in dramatically different directions. So this is one of the point discussed in the passage, but it is not the sole idea. The main idea is that the revolution in the field of genetic has limitations, and we need to understand that limitations to enjoy the enormous benefits. So I won't say that this is the main idea, it is one of the point which was mentioned. Third is, the effort to analyze humans' genetic makeup could lead to a dangerous belief in genes as determinants of who we are and how we think. So now you can see that here we are discussing about the dangerous belief that the author has discussed in the entire passage as determinants of who we are and how we think. So he attributes this problem to the analysis of humans' genetic makeup or the revolution that we are seeing. So because of that, we can say that this point more or less covers everything that was discussed in the passage or the main idea of the passage. So this might be the correct answer. Let's wait and read the fourth one first. The ability to analyze complex genetic information will ultimately lead to a fundamental understanding of human form and function. So this in itself is not the main idea, because the idea or the main idea or the thing that we discussed here is the problem with this dangerous belief. So this thing is mentioned here, but it is not the main idea of the passage. So we can say that the main idea of the passage is option number C, and this is the correct one. Let's read the second question. So second question is, with which one of the following predictions about the biological revolution discussed in the passage would the author be most likely to agree with? The revolution will lead to gross injustices in society. So this is one of the thing that author is saying, but this is not the only thing which the author is saying about the revolution. the revolution will bring greater good than harm to society. There has been no comparison between this thing, so it can't be the correct answer, and this also won't be the correct answer. We'll still see if we don't have anything else. The revolution will not be as far reaching as some believe. This is totally false, because author feels that there is lot of public uncritical embrace of genetics, and here we can see that there was the public impressed by the growing proportion of the public, so it has far reaching impact. The revolution will be problematic as beneficial. This summarizes the entire view of the author. We can see it in the last statement of the author as well. The biological revolution of the past decade will spawn enormous benefit, but we will pay a price unless we craft an ethic that cherishes our spontaneity, unpredictability, and individual uniqueness. So option number D is the correct one. Let's see question number 3. The author mentions the nature versus nurture debate primarily in order to. So here author discusses this thing, and he says that ideological currents have closely affected. So that means people, because of their ideological views and things, can affect the nature versus nurture debate. This is the reason why the author has discussed this thing, that because of their own views and everything, people will affect and people will influence this revolution as well, which we can see from here, from this statement, and from various places where the author has discussed about the problems associated with this revolution. The author mentions the nature versus nurture debate primarily in order to, option number A, demonstrate the difficulty of predicting and preventing misuse of scientific data. So this is factually wrong, because it is written even if society can anticipate and control most misuse of genetic data. So option number A is totally wrong. Option number B, supply a point of reference for an assessment of the validity of recent advances in genetics. There is no point of reference. The author has just said that this debate is affected by ideological currents, so there is no reference point to discuss. Cast doubt on the moral integrity of society. So this can be our answer. We can still say that this might be our answer. Let's read the fourth point as well. Illustrate that political interests have largely determined public interpretations of scientific issues. Now, among C and D, we can see that fourth point is closely related to what the author is saying in the entire passage, and we can see that that must be the reason for putting across this statement. This is very generic, a lot generic than option D. So because we have option D, so we won't say that option C is the correct one, and we'll go with option number D, because it is very specific to what is discussed in the passage, and it covers the reason why author has discussed about nature versus nurture debate. Fourth one, the author's attitude toward the revolution discussed in the passage can best be characterized as concerned that the revolution will suffer technical setbacks. No, author is very positive that by the year 2005 they'll do all these things. Apprehension about some of the revolution's likely effects. So this can be the answer, because author is worried about some of the effects of this revolution. Encouraged about the material benefits society will derive from it. So we do not know whether there is any material benefit or not, but we still know that there will be some section of societies which will benefit more from this, and will create lot of problems in the society. This thing. Option D, surprised that the revolution enjoys wide public support. So that is not the attitude towards the revolution of author, so this is also not correct. So we'll go with option number B. This is one of the attitude of author towards the revolution. Author is also very positive about the revolution, and author is also worried about the revolution's likely effects. The last one is, which of the following sentences would best complete the last paragraph of the passage? Biologists must assist in a search for a community of common purpose. So in the whole paragraph, author has mentioned that we should not look at common purpose. Everyone is unique, spontaneity and predictability and individual uniqueness. So this can't complete the last paragraph. Routine tests will soon detect predispositions to disease as well as indicate a range of normal human traits. One, this is not aligning with the last line of the passage, which talks about both the benefits and the problems, and this is a very positive statement, and it also slightly negate what the author is saying. A range of normal human traits is something which the author has never said, only a probability of development for complex traits. So this author has mentioned, so this is also not correct. C, in particular, the tangible fruits of the revolution will greatly improve our society's health and economic productivity. So here the author is talking about the conflicting situation and the benefits as well as problem. So the next statement directly cannot say that it will greatly improve and this will be the tangible fruits, and there is nothing about economic productivity mentioned in the entire passage and in the last paragraph as well. So we cannot say that it can complete the last paragraph. By studying and enumerating individual genes will only begin to penetrate the surface of human complexity. So this aligns with the passage and the view of the author that this genetic revolution, or even by the year mapping of this human genetic terrain, can just give us an insight or a little entry to the complex human behavior. Our bodies are complex networks of interacting components. So this can actually summarize the entire passage and complete the last paragraph. So this can be the correct answer to this passage. I hope so. That was the last question, and I hope you enjoyed the passage. Please, if you have enjoyed it, like, share and subscribe. And this is something which I am asking from all of you, because if we get more subscribers, if we get more likes and you guys appreciate us more, we'll be more motivated to give you these kind of videos and RC explanations. And this is something which I feel that will help you a lot in improving your RCs and helping you write all kind of aptitude exams where RCs come. So that's it guys. Happy learning. Enjoy your day.